Welcome back to the Saltlick Sessions podcast. And tonight we're doing things a little different in that we're coming to you remote from Puerto San Jose, Guatemala at Casa Intensity. And tonight's guest is none other than Captain Mike Sheeder from Intensity Sportfishing. We've also got Captain Mike Murray as co-host.
Hi.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
I'm great.
You gonna f this up for us tonight?
No. Well, maybe when I finish out.
All right, Yahtzee. And likewise, we've got Oscar Maldonado.
Nice wife beater.
That lasted 30 seconds. We've actually tried to do this for a couple years now, and we failed miserably because we drink when we get here. But so Mike, we've got a bunch of loaded questions for you tonight. But first, if you will, can you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what is Intensity, and kind of what's your game here in Guatemala? Welcome to Saltlick Worldwide Podcast, your ultimate destination for hunting, fishing, conservation, and gear. From international hotspots to the backwoods of America, we bring you the real stories, raw opinions, and the conversations others won't have. Buckle up, the adventure starts now.
All right, well, that was several questions there. So I'm from Hawaii. I grew up on Oahu in Kailua. Was there until maybe 20, and then I fished in Midway Atoll, went to a maritime academy, and then started fishing in Guatemala, shipping out and doing that. What was the next question?
Tell us about the charter service.
Oh, yeah. So I started doing charter fishing, when I was in high school in Hawaii. And then I think I've been charter fishing since then. And then here, I've been here for 20 years. It's definitely quite different than in Honolulu.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think you put it mildly. So like, this is, for me anyway, coming from South Florida, this is like the sailfish capital of the world. I know they say Stewart is, but this place is off the chain. And that's really your thing. Like you guys, you go out and you've really refined this chasing billfish and being successful with sailfish, especially over these 20 years. And you guys just have a fishery here that's just off the chain.
So we have the numbers, and pretty much all bait and switch. So growing up in Hawaii, it was all lure fishing, sometimes live bait, but we do a lot of bait and switch. And it helps out because we got the numbers. And these sailfish here are aggressive. And we get a lot of people from the East Coast, Florida,
Carolinas.
They come here to learn and see the numbers. And when you can make mistakes and you see another one.
Yeah, especially the guys like on the East Coast that are fishing the White Marlin Open, the Mid-Atlantic tournament. You know, really more than $1 million in first place. Last year was, I think, $4.5 million. Well, the last thing you want is to go 40% on White Marlins and miss the wrong one. And they can come here and swing 20, 30 times a day. And
it's better to miss them here and then catch them there.
Become a better fisherman, So
well, and we saw that today firsthand. You know, we got Oscar's here his first time in Guatemala, and we've talked to him for a while, and kind of, it's hard to tell people. You know, you tell people what it's like fishing here, and it's, I don't want to say they don't believe you, but there's definitely, some apprehension there. Like, okay, are you pulling the wool over my eyes? Or, it's really that good here.
Yeah, I mean, what did we see today? We saw 45 today?
Something like that.
Yeah, we saw in the mid-40s, had 30.
We didn't see but one until we saw one early on, and then we started getting into them at 10:30.
10:30, and from 10:30 on, we had a steady, good pick.
The thing was, and this is the way it is here, you may not see fish. I'm just trolling a straight line along an edge or something like that, and you're bound to bump into them. And we bumped into them and started doing some circles.
And that's the thing about this area, this whole coastline, right? There's not a big edge or there's not a big pinnacle that we're fishing. This fish just kind of move through, right? So you've got to periodically refine them and relocate them. And everybody works together here, unlike a lot of other places, which is nice.
Our biggest tool is the radio.
Yep.
Because we all communicate. You may not like the guy that's right next to you or whoever, but it's common knowledge. You report what you're seeing, and it's everyone's fish. It's not me versus you. Maybe day to day it's me versus you, but in the long game, we're all
Everybody helps everybody
it's
out.
Guatemala versus everyone else, because we want everybody to see more fish, because everybody is going to come here.
And I think today was a perfect example. You know, you made the call early to make that big run first thing this morning when all the other boats
everybody
were
fished inshore. There's been a few fish inshore, enough to make a day, make people happy, and it's inshore. The fuel prices are high, so a lot of boats don't, and man, that's tough. To me, it's tough to do that a day. I want to roll the dice and find the fish. We spent 2 hours running out, put them out, and it took a little while, but we found them.
Well, and I think that was a comment that was made. I don't know if it was, I think it was you, midday, early afternoon. We were the first boat out there. There was nothing out there. And then all of a sudden, hey, where'd all these boats come from? I'm like,
well, and it was after the second or third triple. I called it on a race. So when we saw a triple, I called it on a rate triple. 5 minutes later, we saw another triple. Then we saw something else, and then everybody came running. That was enough to sell the deal.
But again, that's a nice deal. I mean, how many boats are fishing today? 15, 18 boats, maybe 20 boats? Right. That's not enough to ruin a bite.
There was more than enough.
Yeah, plenty of space.
For everyone. And everybody ran out to us, but it wasn't like it was crowded or nothing.
Yeah, no.
They're not stacked on top of one another.
No,
Everybody gives each
and
other
everybody's
space.
Generally respectful. So
well, and I'll throw this to you, Murray. Give us a little history about this fishing ground here in Guatemala and kind of how it got started. I mean, there's pretty unique history.
Oh yeah. So it starts with a guy named Tim Choate, right?
That's right.
So Tim Choate was one of the first guys to have an operation in Costa Rica, and he had a fellow working for him named Ron Hamlin, who is no longer with us, but made quite a dent when he was here. In fact, he's the reason we all use circle hooks today. So anyhow, as the story goes, Tim gave, was it Ron and Bud? Ron and Bud Grammer?
I believe it, the R&D.
Yeah, to bring the boat. And they had, it was a 23-foot center console, a 25-foot center console.
Yeah.
That they ran up the coast here
to look for the next hot spot.
To look for bites in the 80s. Yeah. I mean, they had nothing but a can-do attitude and probably some rum and
a few other things probably too.
and they found this place and it established it initially, fished out of the river mouth here, which is a little bit treacherous, and it just evolved from there. And then Jim Turner founded Casa Vieja, which is not on the water, and then about the same time the marina was built there in the port, so now you had a safe harbor, easier to get in and out of. And now you had the availability of more slips and more boats, and with
safety.
Yeah, and with what Ron was doing. I was in Panama in 1999. We're at Tropic Star. I was fishing on a private boat there. I was a mate, and we were talking to Ron on a sideband, and that was the day he caught, I think it was 120 something fish.
Okay, yeah.
And myself and the captain, Robbie Moore, were trying to convince the owner
to go up.
We got to go, and we were catching a couple black marlins and some sails, but it wasn't spectacular, and we got to go, and Ron was like, you guys got to get up here, he's an old gruff guy. But ultimately we decided not to go. We actually had to go back through the canal and go to Cancun for the Masters tournament, but I wish we'd have gone. That would have been spectacular. Not to say that would have lasted, but this was still pretty virgin back then.
So I showed up the next year after that.
Yeah. Me too. I came on a boat from the north. I was working on a private boat and fished here. And our first day we caught 58 here. I was blown away. I think I can hang here for a while. But and it's been like that. Like I said, you have ups and downs. It's like any other fishery. You have slower days and better days. But this place is consistently good to spectacular. And the next any day could be 100 fish.
What we consider slow is anywhere else's good day.
Right. Well, like you said this morning, I think it was like at 11 o'clock, we had caught 5 or 6, and you said, this would be a spectacular day back in Stewart. And it's the truth, it's kind of the way it's been, But, when we talk about sailfish, but there's blue marlin here, and at times there's excellent blue marlin fishing here. And there's also some big blue marlins here.
Our blue marlin fishing tends to pick up when the sail fishing's slow.
Yeah.
Because we're not focused on the sailfish.
Right.
So I don't want to say the sail fishing ruins the blue marlin, but you see This morning we're trolling in a straight line, covering area, but then once we hit a spot where we think there's sailfish, we start doing the working around and stuff.
Right.
Now we're kind of pushing away the possibility of seeing more blues. So, but there is good blue marlin fishing here.
And there's a handful of blacks, handful of stripes.
All right.
Yeah. So it's great. And there's some tunas and big mahis here. Some giant mahis.
Actually, the tuna fishing for some reason has gotten better in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Not
is
sure
it,
why it's doing that.
You know, we've talked about this before. What is it that makes this place unique, especially from a billfish perspective? Why are all these fish here? Because there's, you know, we talked about it the first couple of years that I came with you. You know, there's no structure on the bottom. It's just, is it mucky?
There's structure.
There is some, yeah. And you have a constant current flowing. So it's just a conveyor belt, man. It's right. There's a fish just traveling.
So there's two things, in my opinion. So we have an abnormal structure. We have a large pocket. So the Central America, from Mexico down to Panama, kind of goes southeast. But here in Guatemala, if you look at the chart, it veers straight east. So it's east to west, the land. The continental shelf turns in like that, but right out front, it's like sunken in. So it deep water then veers straight north. So there's a giant pocket of deep water 6 miles out. So we have a large S curve of deep water. So we have structure. We have probably 10 different spots we could fish. So we have that. The next thing I think is more important is the currents. You could pull up the currents right now, and there's a swirling going on and all that. And current is wind driven. North of us is a Tehuantepec, and that's constantly blowing southwest. Anybody that goes up and down the coast knows about the Tehuantepec, and you better look out because it can get really bad. So that's driving current southwest. South of us is the Papagayo.
Yep.
And that's blowing straight west. And it can blow really hard. So you get those two blowing, wind drives current, or wind drives waves, which turns into current. So you get those actually joining and hitting each other right offshore of us. So you got currents that hit each other, and what happens is spins. And it's actually very similar to Kona, where currents are going southwest and hits South Point and then spins. And a lot of times that's why Kona gets a really good bite, because it makes an eddy and turns into Kona. Here it's two currents joining together, and you'll get a spin, and it'll come in at an angle here and drive water that's 200 miles offshore right into our pocket. So you get a right current that's pushing all this food and fish in, and they get right 6 miles out sometimes, and they're stuck there because they're surrounded by fish and bait, because around them is all shallow water. So there's two things. Sometimes it lines up, sometimes not quite so much, but
to put it in, like, it's kind of like a trout stream really on a giant grand scale. You know, if you're trout fishing and there's a bend in the river, well, that outside bend is going to be a deeper hole, and maybe the water slows down and it creates eddies and swirls. It's the same thing, but on a grand scale, it's Pacific Ocean, you know.
And you just made mention of bait too. I mean, there's a ton of bait here.
Ton of bait.
Because of the structure. So we have deep water, but there's an S turn of shallow water. So deep water is surrounded by shallow water. So you got the pelagics that can get driven in close, but they're surrounded by shallow water. So it's a perfect smorgasbord of bait for them. Why would they leave?
Right. And with that said, why would they leave? Is this a year-round fishery?
It's a year-round fishing here. It all depends. It doesn't matter what month it is. They don't know what month it is. What they do know is they're surrounded by food once they get here.
Yeah. There's not really a reason to leave.
Yeah.
But you're like personally with Intensity, your fishing season though, what are you fishing 6 months a year?
Yeah, so we'll start maybe late October, and then, man, I gotta leave around, late June. But our fishing, most boats are fishing during that time period because of when people want to come down. Again, most of our people that fish with us are from the East Coast of the United States, and most fishermen live in a spot where they fish. And in the United States, when's the best time to fish, especially if you're fishing in your backyard? Summertime.
Summertime, yeah.
So they're not planning on leaving that and come down here. And here during the summertime also, it's what we call the rainy season. So it might be fine during the day, might be a little overcast, but right now it'd be raining. And then maybe it'll rain during the days, but the thing is if it's raining here, possibility not so great weather, and you're fishing in your backyard, what's the prime time? People aren't going to come down here. So there might be fish here. And to be honest, historically, there's more marlin here during that time period. But it's hard to get people here, so it ends up being a season, and I'm not going to put the boat back in the water for just a couple charters. So it's that winter time. The weather here, January, February, March, it's going to be sunny every single day. And on the shoulders of that, it's going to be pretty good. And the fish, again, there's no season. I don't know if next year January is going to be the best month. I don't know if February is going to be March. I don't know which month. It could be August.
Yeah, I've seen May.
So historically, there's not a month that's just way
Actually,
better.
the most I've caught on conventional was in July. That was my best month for conventional.
And that's when almost nobody's here.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so.
And now I've been coming with Mike. You and I talked about it today, and we think it's been 10 years that I've been coming now. And, it's a unique place. I mean, the vibe is super cool here.
Yeah,
I love coming. It's something we do pretty much every year now. And it's really easy to get to. That's the thing. A lot of people think, they're going to these exotic places and doing it. It's easy to get here. It's not hard. I mean, we jumped on a flight out of Lauderdale. We were here in 2 hours and 15 minutes. This year you've got a plane now. We took the plane from Guatemala City.
Little puddle jumper.
Yep. Yeah, it was a 15-minute flight, kind of over the mountain, super cool. Saw the volcanoes. Landed here in another 5 minutes. Antonio had us here at the front door, and it's an easy trip. It's not hard. I mean, we don't even check a bag. We bring a carry-on with a couple, and you've got, especially with the lodge here, and I'll overlay some B-roll right now. It's very much like some of the places, that we hunt, in that you guys have laundry service, you have amenities, there's Wi-Fi, everything you could possibly.
They'll wash your clothes every night.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all right here. So
the food's fantastic. I mean, Freddie takes such good care of you. Antonio's fantastic. Rosa's great. Everybody here's very hospitable.
Matter of fact, I got guys that leave if they bring their own rod and reel for fly fishing, they'll just leave it here.
Yeah.
And they come back, and it's ready to go.
And that's the other thing I've noticed too. You have a lot of return clients, a lot of repeat business.
That's been here 20 years. I would say I would say 80% of my days are repeat. And then the other percentage is usually referrals.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and you've got a big social media presence too. Your Instagram is really popping off.
We're doing all right. Yeah.
No, it's doing good. Like Instagram's tough, and like you've just got a unique thing that you've kind of got that nobody else does. Or actually, I don't want to say nobody else does, because I think they stole it from you, because now a bunch of people are doing the same shit. But you kind of figured out a unique way to get some of that unique footage and the photos you were taking. That was different.
I think, to be honest, I almost think it's a lot of us here in Guatemala. We're competitive in that way. I mean, I can go over the history. You want to talk about the GoPro and that stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll give credit where it's credit due. So, you know how everybody does the hero selfie shot?
Mm-hmm.
you know, where everybody knows it already. You
The
got the
gr- the grip-
GoPro on a short stick, and you hold the fish alongside.
The grip and grin, yeah.
Yeah.
But leaving the fish in the water.
Leaving the fish in the water. That's where, you know, before you pull the fish into the boat.
Pretty stressful on the fish.
And take the picture, and yeah, it's hard. So now everybody knows how it's done. But the guy that started that was Kiwi on the lure.
Yep.
He did it on accident. Usually good things happen on accident. And it's, according to him, so he had a GoPro. They're one of the, like the 1s or 2s, or one of the ones that had the case on it.
Big
and everything.
fisheye one or whatever.
Yeah. So he had it on a gaff or something to put it in the water. And according to him, he had it sideways. And I think it was on a marlin. They had it alongside the boat, so they're trying to get underwater, and they're lifting it up. And whoever had the gaff lifted it up. But it was like he's trying to get weird angle, you know, it's because they got it now. And then Kiwi looked at it, and he saw that
image,
everybody's laughing, smiling, and he saw that. He's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he framed it. And then, you know, we all, back then, the gringo captains would hang out and smoke a cigar, drink, and we looked at the picture and we're like, wow. And then it was my brother at the time, took that and started kind of refining that, and he did that. And I kind of, to be honest, I fought it a little bit. I'm like, God dang, that's a lot of work. And, you know, I want the clients to take a picture, not, you know, rely on us to give it to them. So I kind of fought it a little bit, like, go ahead, pull it in the boat, take a picture. And then I tried it a few times, like, well, okay, it does work.
Yep.
And then the next leap was the out in with the fish jumping.
Yeah, that was a 360 camera.
Right. Yeah. Well, the 360 only came up a little while. We used the regular camera, but the wide angle.
Right.
But that also happened with an accident. And that was my brother, Chris. He's got a shot where the fish is right next to the boat, and they were doing the out in, the hero shot. And he said the mate let go of the fish on accident, and the fish kind of jumped out. And they were doing that. So it was kind of like an action shot.
And here's this awesome image of this fish.
So it's real tight and everything. It's not...
Fish is in your face, everyone's behind it.
Right. And he posted that shot. I looked at him like, whoa, well, that's interesting. And I asked him, how'd you get it? And he explained it was an accident or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and get better. So it was like days and weeks. I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? What if that camera could get even further out and you try and get that shot on purpose?
Right.
And I was at a place here called Megapaka, which is a legit company that goes to the United States and buys all the thrift good Salvation Army stuff. They put in containers here and sell it like at regular price here. So I'm up in the city at Megapaka. I'm thinking, how am I going to get a GoPro out there and purposely get these fish jumping and get the out in? I see this little red stick thing, and it looks like it's telescoping, and it says Callaway on it. It's a golf ball picker-upper. You know, those aluminum thingies? And I, like, extend it out, and I'm like, okay. And I was just kind of, I'm like, I can do this, and there's a little screw on there. I popped that screw off. It was like $5. I bought that thing. I put the GoPro on it. I explained this to the mates. Look, this is where we're going to come up on leader. Just get this thing out. My mates didn't want nothing to do with it. They're like, are you fucking crazy? And it was like day after day. I'm like, get it out there. And they would get it out there, and this thing's flopping around. And I'd look at the pictures and never get the picture. Couldn't get the fish to jump. And I'm like, God dang. And I swear it was like months went by. I had to fight them every time, put it out, and they'd look at me like, and everything. And finally, we got the shot. Finally got one. After months, I went back to the boat the next morning. I showed them, look, and they were like, oh my God, that's a great shot.
Yeah.
And that's all it took. Now they're motivated. Now they're learning the angles. You know, it's not just the camera. It's the mate trying to get the fish to jump, me backing down at the right time. And it's still difficult to this day.
It's a process for sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts to
But
that.
you get that shot, it's a great shot.
Yeah, for sure.
And I remember Ron Hamlin, when he was still alive. He was going by us. We're fighting the fish, and we get this red golf ball picker up or with a massive GoPro on it. It's literally bouncing around like this. My mate, now they're excited. They're moving around things. And Ronnie goes on there, what the fuck is going on in Intensity now? This, red stick. I'm like, oh, shoot. But now it's so much easier with, they got the 360.
Yeah.
They actually make sticks that are that way. It's not like reinventing the wheel.
And the cool thing is you can delete.
It's really easy.
You delete the stick out of the picture, and you don't. See it. It's amazing.
So back then you literally got to put it at the right angle, and if the fish jumps too close to the stick, it's like I can't use that, because literally for years, it was 10 years, no one knew what I was doing.
Right.
And I was like, I couldn't leave the stick in there. I had to edit it out. If you look at all my previous shots, there's a whole chunk of the boat missing, and that's where the mate is holding the stick.
Yeah.
I had to cut them out, because if I show one spot, everybody's going to be looking at it and figure it out, and then they're going to do it, and then there's no shock and awe, Everybody's like, was it a drone? Was it on another boat? But as soon as they figure out, actually, I had a client that posted, oh, he's got a long stick. I was like, I called him up and said, you delete that post. I guess you could edit them out or would do whatever, but
yeah,
it was a little secret for a while, and then.
But the whole thing, what drove that is keeping the fish in the water. Just like today.
Well, bigger picture, it's all accidents. Kiwi started it.
Yeah.
Then my brother, took the next leap. Then I expanded on that. It's all on accidents, and it's made it better for everyone.
Well, I think for people that don't know, that maybe, occasional fishermen, we're not killing these fish.
Yeah.
And and I think most of the captains here, you do everything you can to make sure that fish is released. Right. And
it's our livelihood.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a catch and release environment. You're not killing these fish.
It's actually written into the government, to the Constitution of this country, that you may not kill a sailfish.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, in retrospect, how many times, or do you think, and we'll go back to this a little bit, because, in 2022, the Billfish Foundation listed you as the #1 tagging captain that year. And I think that happened actually twice. We talked a little bit. So you're not talking about you're catching a dozen sailfish. You're catching hundreds, if not thousands a season, thousands and thousands, right?
Yeah. We don't catch a few hundred here in a season. It's over 1,000.
How many times do you think you're catching the same fish?
Oh, never.
Never.
I don't think I've ever caught.
And then again, back to the tagging thing, a lot of guys tagged a lot of fish here.
Mm-hmm.
And almost nobody caught a tagged fish here. They were somebody else.
All right, let's go by the numbers.
Yep.
So those are the 2 years I was tagging. The most recent year that I tagged was like
22,
whatever, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Never got it. Not one of my fish got recaptured. Not a single one.
Do you remember how many you tagged?
I think that year we caught like 1,500 or 1,600, and I think we tagged 800 or 900.
800 or 900 tagged fish.
Yeah, something like that. But the first year we got to tag award and we were tagging, we had one recapture, and it was on a boat in the marina. Carlos walked down the dock and handed me over a tag and said, "I think this is yours," in Spanish. And I'm like, "Ooh, I think it is." So I was like, grabbed it. I'm like, okay. And back then it was not on computers, fill out. It was all on tag cards. I had to do it all on manual, which pain in the butt. But I had to organize it by day, because, we're not filling out 2 or 3 tags a day. We're, 10, 20, 30, 40 tag cards in a day. So the most efficient way I could do it is every day put it in a Ziploc bag, put the date, separate it that way. And then after 3 days, then fill them out. So I'm like, oh, it must have been caught this week, because the tag's nice and clean. Everything looks great. So I look a week out, I look at the numbers. Man, it's not there. Look at the days, keep coming. I can't find a number. I can't find this tag. I'm like, I know it's my tag. And right as I was about to give up, I'm like, oh, let me look at today's tags. I pull out the Ziploc bag of today. And there it was.
No kidding.
Carlos caught our fish, and I had it all in a line. I tagged that fish, or we tagged that fish, or I think we called it at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I called up Carlos, what time did you catch that fish? He's like, oh, like 1 in the afternoon.
That fish got himself back together and right back to business.
That's what it was.
How about that?
That was the only recapture tag
In the same day.
in 2 years of,
That's wild.
same day, and it was a few hours late. So you're probably gonna ask, so is that because there's that many fish out there or whatever? I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
It just it goes to reason, though. You know, if you're catching thousands and thousands of fish a year, which you are, and you've done this now for 20 years, you've caught tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of fish, right?
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to hundreds.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's 16, 18 other boats out of the same marina that are maybe not doing the same kind of numbers, but they're out there hustling. Man, how many fish are here?
A lot.
Yeah.
Pretty unfathomable amount.
Right.
So, where I don't know, and maybe other people have the answer, and I'm still questioning this. It sounds like in Florida and in the East Coast, there's a lot of recaptures.
A bigger percentage, I would say.
I've heard of multiple captains catching their own fish.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is too?
So,
Those fish are much more coastal. These fish are all over the place. That's not
Right.
to say we don't catch sailfish in deep water, but they're running up and down the beach, and I think they go through the gauntlet. And also, there's not 30 boats.
So is there less fish there, and they're just recatching them?
I think there's 3,000 boats.
But when a captain recaptures his own fish,
That's
his own tag,
I think that's dumb luck, really. But maybe the fish just hung out there. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, but here, I'm not the only one. There's a lot of private boats that are tagging fish, and I don't know what their recapture rate is.
Right. So I know it's very low. It's Ellen Peel from the Billfish Foundation who runs all. I've asked her that, and she's like, it's very, very low.
So another one was discouraging. I have caught one fish with a tag in it. It was a blue marlin. This was several years ago. Very discouraging because it was flat, calm water, and here's this marlin coming in, and I could see.
You see the tag,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Ugh." So I'm like, we got the mackerel, we hook it, and then cut it off. I called up Ellen Peel. I'm like, okay, here's the numbers. I got a blue marlin. She's all excited. Oh, let me know. A week later, she didn't let me know where it was tagged. Called again. Ended up, whoever tagged it never filled out the card and turned it in.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
I caught one fish that was tagged, and
Yeah, it was a dead end. Well, did you hear this past winter, there was a black marlin caught in Costa Rica that died. So nobody does that here, but I guess they brought it in. And when they were filleting the fish,
the tag was
there
inside.
was a tag inside the fish. It was completely inside the fish. It was from New South Wales, Australia. That black marlin went from Australia to Costa Rica.
Well, so the tag was fully embedded?
Fully embedded. The only way they found out is they were scasing the fish out, and the fillet knife hit.
So was it tagged, and then the fish grew to it?
Yes.
So that
Because it was a
tag
juvenile fish. So, it was a really small fish. I guess the fish was, I don't know, maybe 250 pounds or something like that when they recaptured it. And there's a guy in Australia named Julian Pepperell who is the head marlin biologist there, does all the research and everything, kind of like the Billfish Foundation does in the States. And he was jacked up when he found out about it.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was all on social media, and everybody was, hey, Dr. Julian, what's going on? They finally found the tag, And I can't remember the time at large, but it literally crossed the Pacific Ocean.
Well, so that leads me to my next question about the sailfish here. With the number, so are these fish not migrating? They live here year round?
I assume they're going up and down Central America.
They move for sure.
Actually, I do think I think it was Ronnie that had it. Someone came here and did a bunch of satellite tagging. And I believe then they went to Costa Rica and did satellite tagging. That's, a week later. And they said these are all the same fish.
Yeah.
They're just going up and down the coast. They said the one thing that was very different, at least that's what they told us, is anywhere else, they kind of stay in that area for 2-3 days, but the fish that they tagged here were here for a week. So I mean, all pelagic fish are transiting of some sort. It's just how long they hang out in the spot.
There was just a graphic. Somebody tagged the blue marlin in Cape Verde.
Right.
And they had the graphic of where it went. And again, a blue marlin is a different animal. You know, the whole ocean's their highway.
Still a pelagic fish.
It went from Cape Verde into Ivory Coast, up to the Canaries, back to Cape Verde, almost to Ascension Island in the middle of the Atlantic. Turn around again. It wound up releasing like miles from where it was caught. But
somehow, like Cape Verde, apparently. That was his home port.
I fished here last summer, and there's a lot of blue marlins there, big blue marlins.
So I do think pelagic fish, you know, they do well in a spot.
Yep.
So the currents kind of push them along, and then they kind of look for new spots, and then the currents push them along, and then they're kind of close. Like, oh, that did well for me, so then let's lean over there, and you know, they're gonna go back to where they found success. Just like humans with restaurants, and you know, you're gonna go back to the same restaurant
Creatures of habit, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to switch topics for just a second. I get a lot, you know, because we post a lot about coming to Guatemala, and we get lots of questions. I've had several people reach out, those couple posts we made. But, you know, one of the questions I keep getting asked was like, is it safe to go to Guatemala? And for whatever reason, there's this a little bit of stigmatism, you know, associated with coming down to Central America, that, oh, you know, it's not safe, and you see the shit on the news, and it's bad, and this and that. I've personally not had that experience here.
Well, you've lived here 20 years.
Yeah, I would know.
Actually, the scariest story you ever told me was a tarantula in the shower.
Dang, I don't tell too many people.
Well, I wasn't in the shower. Just get that straight.
Thank God. That would be a scarier story. So, if you're looking for trouble, you can find trouble. It's just like anywhere else.
But that's true in Chicago and New York City and LA and, you know, everywhere else.
There's places in the United States I would feel less comfortable walking the streets. But here, you're looking for trouble, you will find it. I've been here 20 years. I started here in my late 20s. Yeah. When there's a few times we were looking for a little trouble. I've never really I've never ran into trouble.
Yeah. You know, the thing I think that Americans need to understand coming to this place or any Latin American country is to be respectful.
Right.
You know? Understand you're a guest. You are not in America. You are a guest. You need to do things the way people do things here and be respectful.
Another thing is this little port. This is a little sleepy town here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to go for a walk and whatever, I would probably say that probably not a good idea. But you know what? You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Here, if someone's causing trouble here, their family, my mates, their family probably knows their family. You know, so if someone bothers us, they're gonna hear about it. So I don't, especially here, this town.
It's a tight-knit community. It really is.
Right. Everybody knows each other, but if they don't know each other, they know someone that knows it, and so no one's really causing trouble.
I think one of the coolest things is this place, and all over the world, you get commercial fishermen versus a sport fisherman, but here, it's almost like they're interchangeable. They're like, oh, local mates, a lot of them commercial fish.
Yeah,
and, it's back and forth.
Well, I think, unfortunately, yeah. Everybody's friends of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be cruising along, and there's a long liner there, and they'll wave to us, and my mates wave back. So.
You got to understand too, for anybody who hadn't been here, a long line here is
not the same
surface line. It's about that far from the surface, and it's held up by basically Clorox bottles.
Yeah. These long lines are little tiny things. They're not
pretty artisanal. Yeah.
So what would you say? You know, so somebody's watching this podcast and they never really considered coming here. You know, what does it look like to kind of, you know, take them through from booking to actually flying here, to getting here to the lodge, and what that 3 days or 4 days or, you know, whatever they're going to book and fishing looks like? Kind of take them through, you know, just what it looks like to do that.
Well, I mean, the booking's straightforward. Flying here, like you said, it's very simple, especially if you're coming from Florida. There's direct flights, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, I think Orlando. There's also
Atlanta,
Houston. I believe LA might go through Mexico, but there's a few direct flights that are 2 hours, little over 2 hours,
Yep.
and that's pretty good for a flight. If you can sit on a plane for 2 hours, that's not much. Yeah. Generally, everybody will fly in. We'll pick them up with our van, bring them in.
Yeah, so in other words, right at the airport in Guatemala City.
Airport to airport
Yep.
service.
You'll have Antonio or somebody be there with a sign with your name on it.
So you don't have to worry
Right.
about nothing.
You go directly into the van. Yep.
You'll be in our custody at that point. Everything's fine, safe. If you don't know Spanish, you're going to be always with someone that's speaking English. And, you know, we got the housing, the food. You'll be fishing the next day, so 3 days of fishing, and then fly out the fourth day.
And what if somebody's looking to extend that a little bit, maybe go do some sightseeing, Antigua, something like that?
Yeah, we do that. There's some people do come early, and they'll stay in Antigua for a day or two. A lot of guys like that. The guy that just left actually takes his wife, and they stay in Antigua for 2 days and enjoy. And Antigua, if you don't know Antigua, it's the oldest capital of Central America. So Central America used to be all one. And the capital of Central America was in Antigua here. So it's old Spanish castle things.
It's beautiful. The
Cobblestones,
architecture is
roads.
beautiful. There's a lot of jade, right? And
Right.
Restaurants are great. Beautiful churches, you know, and it's up on the volcano, so it's cool there.
There's two volcanoes on either side of you.
Well, I think that's something cool too. You know, I when I first came with you, you know, years ago now, a decade ago now, I didn't realize the terrain here and the mountains and the
Oh, yeah.
volcanoes. It's
Right.
definitely unique. You know, I think about, you know, tropical, we're going to be on the coast, it's going to be flat. That's not what this country is.
No.
And while when you get to the coast, yeah, there's agriculture, other stuff like that. And kind of, man, there's some really cool topography here, geologies here. And then there's a ton of history here. And it dates back way before Antigua. I mean, you're talking about, you've got ruins in this country that are some of the oldest
Oh, yeah.
in,
The Maya,
in
yeah.
all of the
Yeah.
Americas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, there's you've got a cruise ship. You know, the cruise ships come into port now, and we've been there several times where the cruise ships come in, and I mean, I think, you know, for the money, let's talk about from the monetary perspective of what a trip like this costs. Man, it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's easy and it's affordable. That's the great.
Especially if you do like the 4-person package. It's actually, I mean, I feel like we're doing all right with what we're offering. You know?
Oh, 100%.
No, I
4 people together and 3 full days fishing, you know.
At the end of the third day, you're pretty worn out.
Yeah. I guarantee you'll have memories for a lifetime, and you're going to be showing them off to everyone.
I think my go-to when I'm, you know, because we've brought new people for the last several years, back to back. And we did 2 boats last year because we had a big group. And what I like to tell people, and it's not always true, but for the most part it is, that, you know, my experience here, the first time I fished with Mike was like, listen, by noon I was done. Like, I was done catching sailfish. I was worn out. Like, and nobody believes me. I think you're the same. I think I told you the same thing. Like, you're gonna catch enough sailfish where your ass is gonna be worn out, and like, people are like, no. And I think that's that East Coast of Florida mentality where, you know, you're lucky to get 3 a day.
Oh, yeah.
If that. And some, you know, you could go several outings and never catch a sailfish. And then here just to come out. And the client you just had, you know, you had a rough couple of days and you're still getting.
Still caught some.
Yeah.
And fly fishing. To boot.
So where else in the world do you consistently fly fish and rarely ever get skunked?
Right.
I mean,
No, it's incredible. It's incredible. Speaking of incredible, are we going to talk about what happened today?
Yes, we are. And so I was going to turn this over the lighter side of things. So, but yes, let's talk about that. So we had something that was kind of, I didn't realize.
Oh yeah.
Looking back now, I do. listening to Rant. We had something happen today that is only the second time you've ever had it happen, right?
Second, that is, as far as I can remember, only the second time in 20 years. But it was the second time this year.
Yeah.
I've never seen it done, but today and then.
Yep.
So
But
like a month or two ago.
but we've all seen the scenario how many times ended very differently. Very different.
But and so let's dive into this. But in the background, I'm gonna overlay the footage from today in the video so you can actually see. Like, we're not talking shit. We got it all on 3 or 4 different camera views. Like, it was. But go ahead, talk us through what happened.
Well, we raised, I think, a double, right, or a triple.
It was a triple.
It was a triple.
Yeah.
And hooked a fish. You started fighting the fish. Hooked another fish. I think, Oscar, you had the other fish. And the other fish soaked away, right? Did I say soaked away? I mean,
What does that mean?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Anyway, you tell me.
So
It's some Mormon term. Don't worry
Yeah.
about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I mean, if you're into soaking, then
whatever, man.
to each is to their own.
So anyhow, so
I'm just not gonna help you out with soaking, okay? Don't ask me to help out. I don't want to be situated in that.
look
scenario.
Look it up, folks. Anyway, or call Oscar about it.
You just learned
So-
about soaking.
I'll put Oscar's digits down below. You can just
All right,
WhatsApp him.
Stop it. So we got 2 sails on. The third one faded away. And one fish is out on top, and Sean's is down digging deep. Well, he's down here, down and tight here, and the boat's going backwards like this. Well, a sailfish starts jumping off the starboard side.
I thought I ran it over.
Right. So at first we're like, it's not a free jumper, because a free jumping sail is loping and flopping on her side like that. This thing was getting it. But he's tight going that way. And we're all confused. And then you said at first, you went, oh, not again. So what had happened was, so we're using ballyhoos, and Mike's mates rig them with wax floss, right? So you make an X over the top of the head,
An
and
X
you
or
sew
a
'em up.
cross, right?
And then you take the circle hook and you pass it underneath that. And then that, with the weight on the bottom, they stay upright and they swim. Well, while you're fighting the fish, that floss got loose and the rest of that bait slid up the leader. Well, the third fish that kind of faded out piled on that bait and got himself or herself wrapped up.
In it.
So now you had 2 sailfish on the same line and you had one on the other line. So I think we got that one taken care of first.
Right. I want to get rid of that. Get rid of the easy one.
We got the conventional fish taken care of and released. And then you were trying to stay tight, and the rod was ping, 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 ping. And what it was the line
sliding,
moving. The fish was tangled. And we all kept saying, this is probably going to end bad. This is probably going to end bad.
Well, to anybody that's had a drag go, it felt like the drag was slipping.
Right.
Like, so it would ju and then catching it.
But what it was the line was wrapped around it. It was the fish's tail. And as you pulled, it was slowly, it was catching on his skin and sliding through. Well, finally, and in the meantime, the other fish now is jumping out behind the boat now.
So you got 2 fish fighting each other, and then you're fighting both of them.
Yeah. And the way that 30-pound main line didn't break, I don't know. But knock on wood. So, and the next thing you know, here comes that fish tail first, all browned out, tired as can be. And Chewy grabbed the tail, and we got it on, undone, and actually was able to release it, and it kind of just sloughed.
Did you see the way he released it too?
Yeah.
He did it the right
Well, he
way.
did it. He gave it a big shove.
Shoo.
He gave it,
That's about the best way you could do it. And it swam away perfect. Like we kind of followed it along.
Yep. Yeah, sails, marlins, tunas, they have to swim to breathe. So Chewy gave him a
Extra push.
shot, so he got a little bit, and he actually swam off. Yeah. And then we backed up and just caught the other fish, was normal. So at that point, I think we were, usually you say, you were 2 for 3 or 2 for 5. You caught 2 out of 5 bites, 3 out of 5 bites. Well, we were 4 for 3. At that point, we had caught 4 for 3 bites.
Right.
Pretty unbelievable. Yeah, it was pretty special.
Well, and the great part about it is we got it all on video.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
we're running the new cameras, and we had some real cool stuff going on. So that's going to be a lot of POV shots, and I'm going to tell people the story, and they're going to say, bullshit. Yeah. There's no way. I think Brandy even had your son had a little.
Well, that's what I said to Brandy. He said, "How'd you do?" I said, "Well, at one point we were 4 for 3," and he was just like, whatever. You're drinking.
Well, no, he said, he's like, I don't think that math works. Or explain to me how that math works.
He's like, how do you go more than 100%?
Stick with me, kid. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really cool experience. I didn't expect. Well, while we're into the kind of the more storytelling side, so Mike, tell us. I mean, you've been doing this for 20 years. So, what's the most the storytelling time? What's the most completely fucked up, out of control day you ever had when you're out there?
Oh,
You got to have one that sticks in there.
Jesus. What do you mean? Explain what you're looking for.
It could be anything.
Because I'm pretty in control most days.
It could be we fucking caught 200 fish this day. We released 200 fish. We had some fucked up clients on board and shit went sideways. Could be anything.
Most of the time, clients here are pretty good. We get good people to come down because you come here, you're here to fish.
You're committed to do it.
And I tell you what, I'm gonna say 90% of the time, fishermen are good people. I don't know how that weeds out but,
Hey, thanks, man.
well, except for you. You're that 1%, okay? But generally, fishermen are good people. You like to fish. I don't know how that club works out, but
you got to have something in there. You got to have this one day that just sticks in there, like the just shit went sideways.
You ran out of bait. You caught so many fish.
Oh,
I don't know. You're gonna have to give me a minute on this one, or you should have gave me some warning. So I can't think of anything fucked up unless you're cluing on something that I told you
trying
once.
to think about.
I feel like you're trying to.
I'm trying to.
Or maybe my memory washed it away. I've had good days here, and
What was your best day numbers wise here?
my best day conventional fishing, I think it was 86.
Yeah.
But to me, my best day
Raises or releases?
Releases.
86 releases.
Yeah. But we do a lot of fly fishing, and with the guy that just left, one day we caught 34. And to me, that's my best.
That's incredible. Well, didn't you just break the women's record fly fishing?
Right. So that was 19?
19, I believe.
Yeah, so we had a woman, Jesus, what was her name? I'll think of it quickly, but was that a month or two ago?
Yeah, about maybe 6 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was good. The fishing was amazing for a few days.
Yeah.
And they flew down, and all they wanted to do is catch a marlin on fly. And so we tried the first day, and I kind of pulled them aside. I'm like, hey, man, I know you want to catch a marlin on fly, but
This is something special.
the bite is incredible right now. Can we try to catch sail? And they're like, well, okay. And then they enjoyed it, and they're like, you made the right decision. I was like, well, the fishing was actually better yesterday too. And
I should mention too, we talk about fly fishing for sailfish, and people shouldn't be intimidated by that. Like, you can come here having never done it before, and you can teach them in a day, and they'll be successful.
So the thing about the fly fishing that we do, it's not like you're all alone in a river in Montana and you're whatever. It's the way we fly fish. It's a team effort. So if you're learning, us kind of helping you out is going to help out tremendously. So if you're not very good at cast and you're not good, you know what? You're still going to be successful. You're going to catch a fish.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen one way or another.
That's the thing. Your brother taught me how to do it.
Yeah.
And we were doing it in a tournament where it was 2-1. Remember that tournament?
Sancocho?
Yeah. Afternoon.
2.5.
Afternoon, you could fly fish.
Right. On the third day.
Yeah, I became like the fly guy, and he showed me what to do. I went 6 for 7 on the fly that day. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Probably beat me out of something.
Yeah. Sorry, Holmes.
I remember that tournament. It was usually a lot of
It was fun.
people inebriated, and
Well, what was best about that is
so you catching 6 on fly definitely boosted up your numbers and probably beat me out.
so. And then we had a big dolphin too. We had a big mahi, so we wound up winning that.
Points per pound on that.
The best part of it was the name of our team. They said, "What's your team name?" I'm like, "I don't know." So I said, "We are Los Menterosa," right? So then when we came in and I said what we did, and they're like, "Well, you're lying." I'm like, No, that's just the name of the team, It was hilarious, man. That was hilarious. But yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, that was a good time.
So that was a benefit tournament. I should explain that. So the no Sancocho, every time you missed a fish,
Right.
you had to pay $20. And the money went to the school here. Yeah. And we had a good time. We went and got a bunch of pizzas and brought them to the kids and brought them a bunch of soccer balls. And that was cool. That was really cool. But
Well, let's talk about clients for a second. In particular, let's it's really easy to get humbled here.
Oh yeah.
It's not taking a charter and going bottom fishing out of St. Lucie Inlet. This is different.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with it. I like it. However, this is different. We've had several of our friends over the years that, have really struggled.
Sure.
Yeah. And it's a little different. And it's, to me, especially now looking back and bringing new people and watching everything go down, it's really organized chaos. But at one point today, we had a quad essentially.
Yeah.
Had one, tear off and landed 3. But I mean, shit goes sideways in a hurry.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sideways, but it's not. You're not just picking up a rod and setting a hook. There's a method to the madness, and it's kind of like art watching it being done correctly too.
It all has. I mean, there's so many things. Mike's got a million things to cover up there. Where we are, where's the bait? Where we need to be, making sure we're getting a good pass and so on and so forth. Then we see the fish. Where's the fish? Make sure we know where it is as anglers. Pick a rod up, drop it back, lift it. Pull it in. He's on this teaser. He's on that. Everything is, and you need to be moving fast because the fish is going fast. Like everybody's like, sailfish is the fastest fish in the ocean, which whatever. But and then
Well, we can have that argument.
that's why I said that like that. Yeah. So, but then when you do get your fish lined up on your bait, and if you don't beat him to the bait, if he beats you to the bait, you're diminished. If you have to go react to a clip going and you're already behind the 8 ball. But if you have the bait in your hand and you're ready to go, when the fish is coming, you should be in free spool, rod to the side or what have you. When the fish eats it, and not before, because you'll wind up tip wrapping and then or bill wrapping and lose a fish. It's all a smooth motion, and and then to say the drop back. Oh well, you should drop for 5 seconds. That actually can change a bit depending on how they're acting. Sometimes they're complete assholes, and they've dog boned they dog bone the ballyhoo in their mouth for a long time. Sometimes they wolf it down, like a blue marlin, bam, just piles on it. So you really have to be in tune, and the only way to learn that is to do it and do it and do it.
And the next thing is, you want a quad, you want a triple, you need to work as a team.
Right.
Mike's hooking a fish, and I'm on the team, and I shouldn't be watching what Mike's doing.
I think probably all the way around, Freddie.
Yeah, listo. You need to go grab a rod and be ready for another fish. If everybody's looking at one fish, oh, look at it, and then this goes off, well, you may see there might be 4 or 5 fish back there, but you're only going to catch one because everybody's looking at the same one.
Well, so, and I'll throw it over to you because today was your first day actually doing it. You watch Mike and you watch Mike's mates, hook these fish and they make it look easy, but then it's not really that easy, is it?
Oh no, it's tough, and it's so much like coming from, growing up, we just pulled ballyhoo and just wait for that clip to go off and
drag and snag, big hole bent pole,
big SJ hook on there and just snatch the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And this is just so much different, but it literally just is so much fun. I'm not the world's best fisherman, but I know how to catch sailfish here. But I can see in the 3 days, I'm going to leave here a better fisherman.
100%.
Right.
I'm going to be like, no, this was like class. Like this is like going to
No
3-day
matter
boot
where
camp.
you're at the bait and switch, after 3 days of fishing here, you're going to progress.
Yep. So this is perfect because when I leave here, I'm fishing 2 tournaments in the Bahamas that are big money tournaments. And I already told the guys, I said, fellas, we got a good situation. I'm going to be swung up. I'm going to swing.
Even if you're the best in the business,
Doesn't matter.
if you haven't done it for a year or two,
You got to shake the rust out.
well, you got to shake and actually, you got to build some confidence. I think confidence
Oh, it's a mental
is
game.
the best,
If you-
most important thing. So hooking a few, missing a few now, okay, and then you work it out.
Yeah.
Your confidence build up, and now, okay, you're back in the game.
Yeah, 100%. You can get in your head and mess up. I'm telling you this because it happens to me. I get in my own head.
You'll even say, "Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm missing." And it's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, that's the problem.
I'm like, "Oh
confidence is
great,
gone.
you're gonna miss the next one now."
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn around and be like, why did you do that?
As soon as you're trying to wonder what happened, whatever. Now you're in your own head, and,
Right.
and that's the worst thing. Confident when doing bait and switch, confidence is very important. So even if you miss one, you need to be confident. because everybody misses them.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have the misses. Just know that it's just the
We just
way it
dove
is.
in head first, assuming everybody knows what bait and switch means. So can we just take a minute and just explain, to the people at home that may not have fished this way?
The way Mike fishes actually is a really, really good way. I love it because there's four.
Do I fish differently than?
Well, everybody's a little different.
Okay.
Well, we're not using dredges here, which I think is great. To be honest with you. So we've got 4 baits in the water with hooks in them. 2 are long on the outriggers, and they're back about 60 yards from the boat. And 2 are what we call flat lines, and they're pinned down, and they're only about 40 feet behind the boat. So then Mike's got 2 teasers, which are hookless lures that come from the bridge that he's got on a big teaser reel on either side. And then there are 2 teaser rods in the cockpit, which are short rods, which have squid chains, small rubber squids, 4 or 5 of them, with a bait without a hook in it at the back, sewn on so the sailfish can't rip it off. And so when Mike calls out, so he calls the squid chains the flat teasers, or flat, and then if the fish is on the flat line bait, which is in front of that, he calls out flat line bait. So you got to get used to the nomenclature. But so he'll call out where the fish. If it's on the outrigger, you pick the rod up, point it to the outrigger clip as it's sliding through, and when the fish eats it, you ideally drop it through the pin, do your count, lock it up, and it comes out of the rigger and just come down tight. And ideally, you got them on. However, when it comes to the teasers, first you have to identify which teaser he's on. So in Mike's case on the Intensity, there's the bridge teaser and the squid chains, and the flat lines are in between those 2. So you need to unclip that line, and then he'll say he's on the teaser, which is the closer one. Either wind your bait in, immediately go back and free spool, and then he'll jerk that teaser away, and then you put your bait in the clear water where the sailfish can see it clearly, and hopefully they turn around and pile on it. Or it winds up on the squid chains, and the same thing. Then you got to drop that bait back, and then the mates crank that teaser away, and hopefully the fish switches off. Now, there's a few times a day where the sailfish went right by the hook bait and came right up to the transom.
Too aggressive.
Yeah, and it's amazing that, you said it one time last year, you said, look at your feet, and the sailfish was right under the corner of the transom.
I'll be honest with you, my brother came up with that term. Because too many times, we're trying to switch him out in my bridge teaser, and it'll be laying right here, and the fish is right here. And you can say it's right here, but everybody still looks aft. Everybody keeps looking.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's right here. And it's literally right below your feet.
They are not afraid of the boat.
They're saying you got to tell them look at their feet because they will not look to the left. They keep looking down over here. So I finally did it once. Look at your feet. And then they look at their feet. So they're looking down, and then the fish is right here. And they're like, oh, it's right here. I'm like, yeah, he's right there.
You don't say, huh?
Yeah. So from now on, since that point on, I'd say look at your feet.
And it is a different view from the bridge. So the first time I fished with you, I spent some time up in the bridge, and you can see a lot better up. So it's a totally different view down on the deck versus up on the bridge. So, and it's like I said, it's organized chaos. Like there's shit going off, but everybody's got a role, right? And everybody knows what, especially to watch, like, obviously, you've trained these guys, your mates, and they've been doing it forever. But man, to see everything work and then have a couple guys that know what they're doing, man, it just makes it's almost like a ballet. There's back and forth and shit going on, and it looks like chaos, but everybody's got a job, and it's not
organized chaos is the best.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it's not just hooking the fish. It's all the other shit you have to do to successfully land the fish. It doesn't stop when you hook the fish. I mean, there's a whole bunch more that goes on.
You can't waste the motion either. When you could be chit-chatting, nothing's going on, and suddenly there's a quad in the back, and you can't waste a motion or a movement. You need to go to the right rod here. If you want to get all of them, you got to make the right steps in a short window.
Yep.
Time.
That said, what do you think the most common mistake that you see when you get fishermen that come that maybe haven't done this a bunch? What's the most common mistake you see?
Oh, Jesus. You got to prepare me for these questions. I
like to come in hard.
So it depends if you're just learning the bait and switch. Generally, I tell people same thing. Number 1, bait placement, most important. Get your bait in the right spot. Knowing when you get bit. so you can release, because they need to eat it. With circle hooks, you're not going to drag and snag them like a J hook. They got to eat it, pull it out, and it gets stuck in the corner of the mouth. So it's actually a bit more technical than J hooks. But where everybody buggers it up is in the final step, which is the free spool, because you're going to get the backlash. And that's, everybody's scared of the free spool. And if you're scared of the free spool, you're going to get more backlashes.
Or you're going to thumb it so much.
Well, that's
the fish drops the bait.
Well, that's the thing. If they're scared of the free spool and they're scared of getting the backlash, they're going to over thumb it. So they're going to drop it. But what's even worse is you're thumbing it too much and the line loads up, stretches, the rod bends over because you're thumbing it too much. And then when you do release,
now you get a backlash.
Bird nest.
You will get a bird's nest or a backlash. And now you're even more scared. And now you're in this yo-yo of backlashing and over thumbing. And what I tell people, and it's hard to explain it, is to do the proper free spool, you're actually managing a backlash.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
You're not preventing a backlash. You're actually trying to get backlash, but you're managing it. Right. I watch mates. I've been watching mates for 20 years, free spool. They all backlash, but they just they manage it, and I'll see it. Loops of line happening, and they kind of let it out. Ooh, and when it clears up, whoof,
yeah,
they put up the drag, and they got them on.
Yep.
I saw it today.
Generally, if I see someone, a client, and it's backlashing, and they put up the drag, 9 times out of 10, it's tight. They got it. Pow, but it breaks off. Yeah. Very rarely do you ever get a big old booger of backlash, and the fish is and the fish is not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason why you got a backlash.
Yeah, because you had it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that final step, free spool, the best guide I could do is you're not preventing a backlash, you're just managing one.
Yep. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
What about what do you think separates a good angler from somebody that just fucking shows up? What's the difference between a recreational guy and a good angler?
Recreational guy or a good angler? I would one that comes back, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great angler. Well, you ain't gonna hook them if you're sitting on the couch. You ain't gonna hook them if you're not in the cockpit looking at baits.
Okay, yeah, I see where you go.
Ideally, like my goal every day is I want to see them as you're calling them out.
Yep.
Which hardly ever happens.
Yep. Actually, I get a lot of guys that will say that. They're actually competing with me.
Right. But
at the end of the day, at the end of 3 days of fishing, at dinner, they'll say, I tried to see a fish before you.
Yeah.
And they said maybe they saw one, or as soon as they saw it, I called it out.
Yep.
And to be honest, okay, I'm sorry to take over.
No, go ahead.
That is actually very important. Because I guarantee you, if you're chit-chatting or farting around or you're on your phone looking at some pictures or whatever, and you hear me holler out a position and you jump to, you're probably not going to go to the right position. You have to think about what I just said if you heard me clearly. So you have a delayed time. Even though you heard me perfectly, you still have a delayed time. Wait, did he say right long? Or right flat?
Right.
Or
you're preaching to the choir. I did that 10 times today.
And then maybe you're one of those guys that don't know your left from your right, But
2 lefts.
Yeah, exactly. Does that work? Sure. So if you're actually sitting there looking back there, and I teach this too, a good angler, when we talk, and this is on most boats, right? If you're a seasoned fisherman and you and I are fishing together and we're chit-chatting, telling stories, we're both looking aft.
Yeah.
And we're talking and like this, even though
right.
we're standing or sitting next to each other. But when a fish comes up and we see a little swirl or something on the right long, and we do a double look, but then you hear me say right long, guess what? you go straight to that spot, because not only did you see it, you may have questioned it when you saw it, but you heard me say it. Two things right there, say it, and boom, you're there. That half a second is everything.
Oh yeah, and keep in mind too, you're not always seeing a bill, a tail, and a sail out of the water. Most of the time,
something different.
You're seeing maybe the tip of the tail made a swirl behind the bait, or there was a boil, or the sailfish are black when they come up behind the boat.
And that's what I was going to say.
Before you hook them
through the water, I can kind of see the shape in the water.
Yeah.
Especially if you're outside, that kind of jumbled up water right behind the boat, the prop wash, and you can kind of see clear a little bit. I can normally see that for whatever reason. I can see that black when it's. Mike's already seen it, right? And then I'm watching, and like, oh, that's what I pick up. And occasionally, you'll see the.
So what you want is, first of all, look back there, and pan and basically scroll through the pattern, and that's what I'm doing all day long. I'm not just sitting there.
Yeah, you're not blindly staring.
Right. I'm looking at the left teaser. Then I go to the right teaser. Then I go to the left flat. I go there and I look at the longs, and then I go back and I kind of do this thing. But what's more important is look at what we have out there. Look at the teasers. Look at the way it's running. Teasers run differently. Squid chains, they're skittering on top, and then the last thing on back is doing a certain thing. What I'm cluing in on is something different. So the way those teasers and baits are running, and if something swirls or the chain kind of does a bit or whatever, now I'm focused right on it, and then I see the fish.
Yeah.
But you're always looking for something different.
It's something different. It could be tiny.
Give the hunting reference. So obviously we've got a big following because we hunt and we fish, but a lot of hunters out there, especially like we'll call the whitetail woods, right? Whitetail will blend in.
Oh,
they're hard. So you start looking for other things, horizontal shapes in the woods that aren't supposed to be there, little flashes of white here and there,
right.
Just something that you can pick up on.
This is just like when me and my wife are driving, and I'm just like deer in the field. She's like, "What are you seeing?"
Right.
And it's just like literally, it's like, oh, like right there is like a little patch of, like, it's a grass field, a little patch of brown on there. It's like, oh, you didn't see like that ear twitch. She's like, we're going 60 miles an hour. She's like, I don't know, I just see it.
It's something different that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
That you
something
key on.
changed, and then now focus in on that, and then look for the second occurrence.
That was a really good explanation, by the way.
It could be a black shadow. It could be a little swirl and a little bill or a tail. There's a lot of scenarios.
So, I got a lot of this today with yesterday's post, and a little bit today was, that people say that Guatemala is easy. How much of that is true, and how much of it is bullshit?
What, easy?
Easy.
To hook fish?
Yeah, in general, like it's easy to come here and just catch a pile of fish.
Well, it's easy to come here, that's for sure, but there are a lot of fish here too. But again, easy is very subjective. It's easy if you're paying attention and you this and that, and there's a million things that you need to pay attention to. And the more you do it, the easier it gets because you get better at it.
And I think that
I'm not sure I would use the word easy at all, to be honest with you.
Well, sometimes it's really, sometimes the fish are ultra aggressive, and it is easy. But then sometimes they're not. It's just like regular fishing anywhere.
I think the first time I was here, I went like 0 for 20 or something on hookups. Just could not. It was like I had 2 left feet, just stumbling over myself. And finally, after a while, I started, slowly.
I mean, if someone wants to pay me money to make it difficult, sure, I could do that. We can go somewhere where I don't think the fish are at either.
Look at that, there's one.
Make this difficult.
And I'll preface this with I'm not throwing any shame to anybody, but if you want to sit back and let the mates hook all the fish all day long,
yeah,
then that appears pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
They do it all the time. They're good at it. If you want to get out there and do it yourself and actually hook up and finish it, that's a totally different ball game right there. Anybody can sit on the couch and you get a rod handed to them.
Not all the boats here, but a good percentage of them do try and teach the anglers to hook their own fish, because we do get people that come here that's never caught a sailfish before. So the main thing in that situation, and I'll say it, Okay, let the mates hook the first one. Let me do the brief. I usually stay downstairs for an hour with someone new and explain everything. And then I'll say, okay, you heard it, right? Now watch it. Let the mates hook one, fight it, get a picture. And then maybe the second or third one, go ahead, pick up the rod and try it. And I generally tell them, you're going to fuck it up. Sorry. But that's how you learn.
Yeah, the only way.
There's no way you're going to get on a bicycle and ride a bike the first time. You're going to fall down and scrape your knees. And then you're going to get back up, get on that bike, and you're going to scrape your knees again.
That's right.
And then eventually you're going to get it. And you're going to ride that bike around in a couple circles and then fall down and scrape your knees again. And it's just, you're going to get better by your mistakes. There's no way you're going to get it right the first or second, third time.
He actually yelled at me once and said, "Look at my feet."
What?
It's not yelling, it's coaching. I've been saying that for years.
The first time I fished with you, you literally yelled down, "Look at your fucking feet." Looking back here and the fish is right here.
Yeah.
Teaser came all the way in and I'm looking back and like, reel, like for fucking what? Because the fish is right here and my bait is way the fuck out there. What you got? You got something on your mind? You had some other stuff you wanted to throw in there.
No, we covered a lot of what I wanted, a lot of the things, some of the history of it, and how this place got found and, the circle hooks. I mean, this is the birthplace of circle hook fishing. And that.
Wait. Careful.
No, with your Ulua nonsense.
Bruh.
Listen, bruh.
Circle hooks were not.
Dude, I knew you were lame the way you wear your shorts, dude.
It keeps riding up.
Circle hook billfish.
Okay, all right.
Golly.
Circle hooks were invented in Hawaii.
True.
That's
I'm sorry.
the Hawaiians
I should have.
invented the circle hook.
Listen, we made it through nearly an hour and 30-ish minutes, if I can see that timer over there. Nobody said a fucking thing about Oscar's 7-Eleven shirt yet. They got Hawaii. The fucking wife beater.
This is awesome.
Speaking
dude.
of Hawaiian, look at that 7-Eleven wife beater.
Does this bring you back home?
ABC. That's an ABC shirt.
Yeah.
That does not bring me back home.
Why not?
Because,
These are all your fish.
well,
You're
they
naming
are
them
my
off the other
fish,
day.
but I would not be wearing that shirt.
Me neither.
Yes, you would, dude.
You know what? I look at you wearing that shirt and I think, I want an extra large pie with pepperoni and meatball on it.
Their V-neck.
Nothing wrong with that?
You should. No, I like pizza, but you should be spinning a pizza with that shirt on.
I do it in Hawaii, dude.
I mean, I'm not here to judge, but I mean, well, let's face it, I am.
Where's the humu nuku nuku? I see it. There is a humu nuku nuku apoa.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, that's not it.
Oh, whatever. I don't know.
Like, you find it.
Oh, this guy.
There you go. There's the humu.
State fish of Hawaii.
That is the state fish. You can quickly know if you grew up in Hawaii or not if you can say that fish.
Did you know any of the people that were in the movie North Shore personally?
Oh, turtle?
Any of them?
No, of course not.
Damn it.
Do you know Moana? Fake Hawaiian, dude. Doesn't even know Moana.
I'm fake. Yes. No, I don't know Moana. No,
Knew it.
sorry. I knew it. Wait, what's the what was that, Zeus or whatever? Aquaman.
Aquaman, yeah.
He's
He's Hawaiian, isn't he? Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa. I swear, that is one of the funniest things. There's a bunch of Hawaiians throwing him shade.
Really?
Well, because he's back there and he's, going back to his Hawaiian roots or whatever, and he's posting some stuff. And there's a couple of Hawaiians. They're just making fun of him hard.
Well,
Bring it up right now, but
funny.
You can, we'll just edit it out.
Sure.
Come on the podcast, Jason Momoa.
no, the guy that's throwing shade.
Oh. Still come on the podcast.
He's throwing Hawaiian. He's throwing Hawaiian words around, and then these other guys. I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So, in your opinion, and I'll ask both of you this question: is this the best bill fishery in the world?
Kind of, pretty much. I mean, it's the most consistent bill fishery in the world in terms of, like you were saying, any month, any day, you can go out and catch billfish. You can catch sailfish and have a good shot at seeing a blue marlin or even a black or a striped marlin. It's consistent. There are other good fisheries around the world, without a doubt. One of them being a fishery we really can't access anymore, which is Venezuela. Maybe that'll change, but the thing about Venezuela is the fishing was great, and you had blue marlin, blue marlin, white marlin, sailfish, swordfish, spearfish. It's one of the only places where people caught all 5 species of Atlantic billfish in one day, but it's rough as a cob.
Yeah, well, that's another big positive.
Yeah, and here
generally flat.
Yeah, it's big swell, but it's lazy swell. You're not going to be snapping around all day. I mean, Guatemala is, if I had to take someone bill fishing and had to show them, I'd take them to a place and do a destination trip, I'd go with him. That I would come here and do this because, like we did, showing you how to do it, and you get, I see you and now Teddy, you guys hooking your own fish. It's great. That's the whole deal, And you could go somewhere else and maybe you get 10 shots, maybe you get no shots, Now, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, over the last, and we haven't come every year for the last decade, but we've been here a bunch.
Yeah.
And I think the consistency for me is the biggest thing. And we've had a couple of slow days that weren't stellar, right?
It happens. We got slow days, but there's always the bite in a short distance away. It's just a matter of where it is. As my brother, I keep telling, he's got these quotes. It's not if there's a bite here.
It's where it is. Yeah.
You got to find it. There's a bite here somewhere all the time. Just got to find it.
Cooperating on the radio comes in handy. Again, there's not so many boats that you're going to crowd out a spot. But if everybody fans out and somebody finds fish, well, it sure is nice that you call out your numbers where you are. You're Latin long. You got 30 and 30, you got a double. And then people can go there and, and everybody can.
All right. So based on that concept of everybody contributing and helping one another out, is that unique? Okay. So you both been charter guys, so that, where I'm going.
Yeah.
I see this. I see you guys on the radio back and forth all day long. Everybody's trying to help out. I'm not sure that I saw that so much in other fisheries.
It used to be. It used to be back in the early mid 90s, fishing in Isla Mujeres in the Yucatan, sail fishing there. We did the same thing. We called out all of our fish. We called out what they were, how many, same thing. I think the thing that got away from that, and the Carolina boys do it too. They have a lot of tradition there. The guys in Oregon Inlet, they do that as well. I think what's happened with that, the reason why that's gone away, especially in the United States and like say Mexico and the Yucatan and the Caribbean, is big money tournaments, right? These big money tournaments, nobody talks to each other anymore. It's bled over. I'll give you another example. Los Sueños in Costa Rica, big, beautiful marina. The culture there is so different now from the first time I went there. It was like 2005. And the culture there now, like hardly anybody talks to each other. The whole thing with this thing is the camaraderie. Like you said, everybody talking to each other, having a drink, smoking a cigar, talking about what we did, didn't do, whatever, having a good time. It's a brotherhood, And a lot of that's lost. But here, it's not. Here the cooperation, everybody's helping each other. Like Mike,
there's no big money tournament.
No, there's no big money, but there's still competition. Everybody wants to be. You want to be the top boat. You want to be the high hook. But at the same time, everybody's helping each other. And that's gone away in a lot of places.
Well, and I'll use a specific place in mind. Let's say, you're fishing out of Stuart, Florida.
Yeah.
How many of those charter guys are talking to each other every day? Hey, I'm on a bite. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm there.
To be honest with you, most of us were. Yeah. We have our own channel we go on, which is not secret, and then VJ and Glenn and Scott and, myself when I was doing it and Pat when he was around, Nick Ramasco, we would all talk, I mean, we might have talked about, what we ate for dinner last night, but, if we were getting bit, we would call each other and help each other out. But that's a really small community.
Right. Brett, I'm gonna think it's more so that if you got a small marina, I think there's more talking.
100%.
As soon as there's more boats and everybody starts feeling the pressure of, if I put this out on the radio and, 10, 15 boats around you, I don't think that's going to affect your bite so much. But as soon as you get 20, 30, 40 boats around you, your bite that you found suddenly got squashed because you keyed that mic and you let everybody know. So then maybe I'll hold back on letting everybody know. I think big money tournaments, yeah, that promotes the secrecy, but if you look at that marina, it's a small little marina.
Small, yeah.
It's all charter boats, but it's small. But you go Los Sueños or, you know, these bigger marina, and you get on a bite and you let people know, you might get squashed out. Yeah.
Well, I guess ultimately at the end of the day, I mean, your job is to put your clients on fish.
Right.
And if you give those fish up to the next swinging dick in the other boat, then what's the client say when all these boats? I mean, here it's never been an issue. I mean, that's just.
Well, that's the other thing too, is you generally see enough. You know, what's the difference between catching 20 fish and 30 fish? It's not that much difference.
It sounds like a big number, but it's not when you're doing it.
Couple of doubles and you're there.
Right.
You know.
Well, I mean, today we had, what would you call today an average day?
No, today was better than normal, you know.
And was it 45 raises today?
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
Something like that. And I've certainly had slower, and I think we had a couple of days that have been better, but you know, that's kind of what for me personally, that's been my overall experience here, is numbers like that. That's kind of what I'm kind of.
Generally, I feel like if we can see more than 20, okay, I'm doing my job.
Yes.
I did my job today.
Yep.
But if we came back and we didn't see 20, it's like, okay, we got to do better. Because as long as we can do 20, see 20, we can show you enough fish to either catch what you want or learn, or, you know.
That was definitely something. You hit on it earlier, and I want to just go back there for a second. The first time I fished with you, you spent a bunch of time with all of us, even though Mike had, you know, been here, fished a bunch, but the rest of us haven't. And you came down and you spent a bunch of time with us and explained the whole thing, and we still fucked it up. But like,
It's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah, and it's a cool thing. I mean, yeah, like for me, if I fuck up and I miss, it was still fun doing it. Like, I still have a blast. There's so much, it's like it's buck fever almost, right? So that's the thing in the hunting world, right? You get that buck fever when you start calling out shit and you get that rod in your hand and you feel that bite or you see that bite and you drop back, man, there's that, oh shit, here we go, right? It's go time now.
Yeah, you better get it right.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And it'll humble you in a fucking hurry too.
Yep.
Quickly. Well, let's finish this thing out with some rapid fire. What do you think?
I don't know what rapid fire sounds like. Some news thing.
Yeah. So rapid fire. We do this. We started doing this on the podcast now. So at the end of the podcast, I'm gonna throw out, I don't know, 6, 7 questions to you, just one at a time.
To me?
To you.
Okay.
The first thing that comes to fucking mind, you chunk it out there.
I'm pretty slow thinking, so
It's okay. We
response might be delayed.
we're only an hour longer than your bedtime, so we're good right now. All right, you ready?
As ready as I can never be.
All right. Yeah, don't think, just fucking answer.
Oh, I tend to overthink things.
Sailfish or blue marlin?
Blue marlin. I mean, come
That
on.
was easy,
Yeah,
right?
Come on.
Best month to come here?
Again, we don't have seasons. I like November. There's a lot of, I can go, but I like November. But any month is good. But for some reason, I like November.
One mistake every angler makes.
There's so many.
Sunscreen.
I can't.
Hit it. Throw it out.
I don't know. Where do I start? I should have a list of mistakes.
Bringing their bad habits with them.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the first one. Not knowing where the fish is.
Yeah.
That's step number 1. Not knowing where he's at.
What's your number 2?
You know what? I'm gonna go over a mistake. I'm sorry, Mike. So a lot of guys are doing this. I don't know why. Maybe it's just with me. If I have a fish on my bridge teaser, for some reason, I don't know if they're doing it on other boats or whatever, but they hold the bait behind the teaser. Okay. It's not the biggest mistake, but I feel like a lot of other boats, they're teaching people, okay, I pull the teaser away, that fish is going to find that bait. But that fish has to literally turn around to find that bait. And Ron Hamlin, I don't say it too much because it's profanity, but Ron Hamlin says the fish can't see out of his asshole. All right, the fish is looking at this teaser and looking this direction, and then you're holding the bait back here. Well, they can't see that, so if I pull that teaser away, now they were aggressive on that teaser, and now they're losing their aggression, and then maybe they fade back and now see your bait. You got to get that bait to the same distance as the teaser that he's on.
The quicker you can switch the fish to the bait, the better, because he's aggressive then. And they lose interest really quick sometimes.
Right.
You saw a couple times that they just fade off.
Yeah. And that's a lot of private boats and guys are using electric reels, and I do everything by hand. That's so I see your bait get right to the right spot, and I'll flick it out of there.
That bang, it's right there in front.
Now he goes from trying to eat my teaser to that's gone, and oh, there's a ballyhoo. Whew.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I don't even remember what the question was.
What's one thing that instantly pisses you off on the boat?
Dropping the drink lid. God.
That's slamming the drink box lid.
It's like, you don't remember what I told you this morning? Any banging on a boat freaks me out. I mean, it's a charter boat. I own the boat. If something breaks, it's money. Days, fish, or whatever.
Nothing banging on a boat is good.
So a little vibration, a little this, makes my heart stop. And then suddenly, bam, someone dropping the drink cooler. Oh,
You could put a shock on that thing that kind of lowers it.
I don't know.
From an angler's perspective, you get a little water back there. It's a little rough, not rough, but you're bouncing a little bit. It's hard to lower that thing down sometimes.
Try harder.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say gay.
Yeah.
It depends how many gallos are left in the box by that point in time too. The fewer there are in the box, the easier that lid comes out.
I've always thought I'd just make that lid a little bit lighter too. But
Hardest fighting fish pound for pound.
Actually, I want to hear your answer. I got an opinion.
I'm torn between a giant bluefin tuna and a swordfish. But I've caught bluefins and swordfish that didn't fight much at all.
Okay.
Peacock bass fight pretty hard. I guess I'll probably say a bluefin tuna. I mean, just because, a big bluefin or any big tuna, big yellowfin or big eye, they're really strong fish. They have a lot of stamina.
I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to say a Dorado or a skipjack tuna. If a Dorado could get 200 pounds.
I wouldn't go swimming.
If a Dorado, okay. See, he said pound for pound.
Yeah,
pound for pound. So sorry, I said Dorado. I should say my.
Yeah. Oh, so see, now who's making
I
fun?
remember I was in Hawaii, and we caught, was it 60 or a 70 pounder on a 130?
Giant, yeah.
On a 130.
Yeah.
And I mean, the freaking rod, and it was hard, bro. He even bent out the hook. He had the hook bent out. And it was hard on a 130, and it was 60 or 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Just imagine if they got 200 pounds.
Well, I say I wouldn't
Good
go
luck,
swimming.
bro.
I wouldn't go swimming because I think they would try you.
Now, skipjack or aqua or otado. I mean, those things are tough. Now, take one of those and make them 200 pounds.
Well, look at the shape of a skip.
Well, it's got an ass. You see,
They got back. They carry that weight so far back. Yeah.
pound for pound. Pound for pound was the key.
Yeah.
You say swordfish, yeah, swordfish.
Throw like a GT in there or something.
Well, I've never caught a GT. You've caught a bunch of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I still go. I would.
If you take a 40 or 50 pound mahi,
You can stop. Hawaii Alua. And my brother and I fishing in Midway, we were farting around a few times, and you hook a 80-pound Alua on a 130. We pulled soft heads around the reef with 130s and hooked into. Put it on full, you'll stop them.
Yeah.
An 80-pounder, you'll stop them.
But what I was saying is with the mahi, if you were to hook a double header, a 50-pound mahi and a 50-pound sail, you could release that sail and a quarter of the time,
Yeah.
that mahi is going to be a problem on the same tackle. And so that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, take a blue marlin, 100-pound blue marlin, 100-pound my.
Yeah.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You're not getting that my.
What's one thing you'd ban clients from doing? And you've already used the dropping the lid on the fucking drink box, so you can't do that.
I'm not very fond of spray suntan lotion.
That's their own problem down there.
Well, the only problem with spray suntan lotion is
Oh,
if it's not PABA free, it stains your
wait. Well, okay. Something just pops in my head because I think I saw it once. I should probably tell people this too. I just assume it. Because after you're done with your fish, I got people occasionally and I got teak deck. They put the butt of the rod.
Oh, jeez.
And it doesn't seem like much, but that butt of the rod should not be on the teak deck or any deck. I don't know, one that bothers me occasionally, the mates will do, new mates, a gaff.
Yep.
They'll take the gaff, a stick gaff, and sit it on the deck with the hook up. One misstep, and you got a gaff.
Yeah,
New mates do that a lot.
that's bad.
Generally, I'm pretty quiet. I'll usually hold things until the end of the day if the mates do something wrong or it's client, hey, dude, you should do this better. But those two things, when it comes to the deck, at least.
Getting somebody's ass instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Last day ever fishing.
Last what?
Last day you ever can fish. Ever. What are you targeting?
Oh. So you got one last day of fishing.
One last day. What's it going to be?
Ooh. Jeez.
I do think these things out ahead of time.
That's a little tough one. Something popped in my head, but I don't know if that's the right answer. I actually enjoy peacock bass fishing. It's relaxing. It's a little, not too much stress. I like peacock bass fishing in a little pond, fishing from the bank, not on a boat.
Just chill. What's yours?
Jeez. That's a tough question. Which way do you go? The rotten Yankee in me wants to say flounder fishing.
Okay.
Catching a mud marlin. One more mud marlin before it's all done.
What about you?
Probably catching snook during the mullet run.
I could get into that one. I'm just not very good at it yet.
Oh, wait till fall run, dude.
I'm trying.
It's gonna be good. Yep.
All right. Well, let's close it out. So, Mike, for anybody that's watching right now, thinking about booking a trip, what do they not understand about this place until they actually get here? This is a hard one.
What do they not understand until they get here? Okay. Actually, I don't know. I've been here so long, I guess I don't see it. I'm blinded by it. So you might.
Yeah, I could probably say the level of comfort, the level of attention that you get.
Yeah.
Like it starts here at the house with the staff. You're met at the front door before you even get your bags out of the van.
Service, you're right. I get a lot of compliments. You guys,
100%.
service.
100%.
Just the house alone.
Yeah.
They're like, the service is tremendous. The personal service. Yeah. All right.
And once you get here, you don't have to worry about anything. Right? You get a wake-up call. You get a choice of your breakfast. Everything is taken care of.
Matter of fact, you could bring 2 pairs of clothes.
Yeah.
Toothbrush, deodorant,
That's it.
passport.
Yeah.
Make sure you bring your passport.
I brought the clothes I was wearing and 2 pairs of clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you need.
Everything else is covered.
Mike, how do people watching, they want to book a trip, how do they get a hold of you? What's the best way?
Well, I am fishing every single day. Generally, pretty busy. Everybody can reach me on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Messenger. Takes me a little while.
It's what? Intensity Sportfishing?
Intensity Sportfishing.
On both of those.
On both.
Yep.
You got the website too.
And we got the website, intensitysportfishing.com. Please be patient. I do respond. I also got a guy named Herb Roselle that helps me out with the booking. I don't know his number, but it's on there somewhere.
That's all right. We'll put it in the.
Yeah.
We'll actually put it right up here.
Herb's contact will be in over there.
Yeah. or in this kind of general area. All right, man. Well, I think that wraps it up. But for the folks back home, thanks a bunch for watching, following along, and remember, till next time, live free, hunt, and fish hard,
Got that right.
and keep chasing that adventure. And we're out.